Hello viewers, 4DIYers here, back with another tutorial video for everyone. Now in this particular video here I'll be doing a demonstration on how to clay bar the paint on your vehicle. Now what can happen over time considering your car is exposed to the exterior elements, any debris that is located within the air or even just from day-to-day driving, there's debris that is in the air will land on the paint and basically bake on the paint. Now if you are planning on waxing your vehicle, this is a procedure I would recommend in order to achieve the maximum shine and cleanliness of the paint. So basically with this debris that's located in here, you'll feel just by a touch here. Sometimes you can notice it by the eye, other times it's a little hard to see, but just to give you an example here, hopefully you're able to hear this. And basically what this is any debris that's baked on the paint. Now when the paint surface is perfectly clean, you should be able to glide your hand over without any sounds whatsoever. Now with the clay bar here, it's basically just what the name entails. It is a clay bar that you do rub on the surface of your paint. Now you can usually buy these either separately or in a kit. Now you can buy these at your local auto parts store or even Walmart, or usually they're fairly common to come across. This particular one here was from a mother's kit, and it did come with a lubricant. Now you can see this bar is used here. Now you can use these multiple times. Basically when you want to replace it is either when you see it's getting excessively dirty. This one's starting to get somewhat dirty, but it's still got quite a bit of clean spots in it, so it's perfectly fine to use. Or when you drop it on the ground, don't use it over again. That is my recommendation, because what can happen is it's sticky and it can pick up actually dirt from the ground, even though you think the ground is, if you're working in a clean spot and you think there's nothing there, something might land in the paint. What can happen, considering you are rubbing this in the paint, you can do some pretty excessive damage with it rather than any repairs. Now as for storage purposes here, what I do is I basically just use some parchment paper, make sure it's damp when I put it away so it doesn't dry, and then just seal it up in a Ziploc bag. Now before you do this procedure, you want to make sure the vehicle is perfectly clean. So you want to go through and give it a good thorough wash, and make sure there is no contaminants that are on the paint, that anything that's loose or even just road debris up by the fenders or anything like that. Now what can happen is these contaminants can get in the clay bar, and again, as I mentioned earlier, even with dropping the bar on the ground, basically the contaminants get in the bar, they stick to it, and then when you rub it on the paint, then it creates more damage than you're actually doing any repairs. Next, once you've made sure the vehicle is nice and clean, you'll go ahead and you'll have a bucket of just soap and water. Basically what I use is just regular car wash soap. You can use it for a lubricant. If you do buy the kit, sometimes it does come with a lubricant itself. And for soap, I wouldn't recommend using dish soap either, because it can harm the paint. Now first what we'll start by doing here is just taking it from the package and just give it a little squish back and forth, or you want to knead it just to work it a little bit. If you need to fold it, then you can go ahead and do that. What we'll do is make sure it's well lubricated while we're doing this, because then the moisture content does stay in. And we'll just keep doing that until it's well moisturized. We want to make sure it doesn't stick to our hands, and then we can go ahead and then apply it to the paint. Now we just want to make sure there's a flat spot on here, and what we'll do is just stick it on the paint here. You can see I've already well lubed the area. If you do find the area is drying, you can go ahead and apply more lubricant. What we want to make sure is there's enough lubricant on here so the bar doesn't actually stick to the surface and it kind of glides over the surface. We will feel it dragging at times because there is the debris on the paint itself, but then after the debris is removed, you can feel it does go over quite smoothly. And then you can see there's a little bit of dirt within the bar itself. So we can see there's a little bit of dirt on there. What we can do is go ahead like this. Again, find a clean spot, make a flat area, go ahead, remoisturize the surface, and then go ahead and continue rubbing it to remove any of the debris on there. Now if you are doing this, it probably does help to do this in the shade as well, because the sunlight can dry any of the lubricant you do have on the surface. Now if you are using the spray lubricant that does come with the clay bar kit, you just go ahead and keep spraying the surface to ensure it is well lubricated whenever it is required, just to ensure that it doesn't stick to the paint and glides over the surface quite nicely. Now when rubbing the bar on the panels here, you just have to apply very light pressure, maybe even medium pressure. You want it to be too excessive with it, and it just glides over the surface and it will remove any of the contaminants that are baked on the surface. Now normally what I like to do when clay barring the vehicle is just go panel by panel, so I know what spots I've done already and what spots I haven't. Now if you do have any rubber trim around your vehicle, or even just any plastic body pieces, such as these washer jets here on the hood, you do have to be careful with the clay bar because they can stick to it, and what can happen, just get stuck in these little grooves here, and then they can be very hard to clean afterwards. Even the same goes for even stone chips or rust spots. If you do find that's happening, what you can do is just go ahead and take the clay bar and just stick it on the surface, and it'll pull it out of those cracks and you should be okay. Now I've already cleaned this area here, so you can see it is quite smooth and quite squeaky when you do go over it with your hands. You can go ahead and feel it continue to ensure that all the debris is removed. Even when the car is wet, you will feel that debris that is baked on the paint. Once you're satisfied, you can then go ahead, either wipe the lubrication off that did come with the clay bar, or go ahead and rinse the car. I normally recommend to rinse the car because then everything's nice and clean and you don't have any debris on there. And once you are done, when you touch the paint, you should be able to feel a nice smooth finish without your hand catching on any of the debris there. And you then can go ahead, once you're done this procedure, is apply a wax or paint sealant to ensure nothing does stick to the bare surface here. Now, as I mentioned before, the clay bar will remove various debris which has landed on your paint and baked on there. And some of this can include just the standard dust from day-to-day driving, or even having your vehicle parked outside. Any bugs that maybe have been baked on your paint as well that you haven't been able to wash off. Even instances where you have, say, a portion of your vehicle that is rusting and it does put stains down the side of your vehicle, or if you had your vehicle parked somewhere and something was rusting and that contaminated water landed on the paint and created that stain, it will remove that as well. In other instances, I found it also to remove overspray from spray painting, and also even if someone has gotten too close to the vehicle and has put like a rubber scrape on there, almost like the rubberized content has stayed on the paint itself, it will remove that as well. Now, unfortunately, it will not remove sap stains from my experience. So this concludes the rest of my tutorial review. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to post them below. Also, please subscribe to my channel and like my video. Thank you for watching.